Welcome to the Album Anniversary Podcast. Today's show is about Straight Six by Poor Old Lou. It was released sometime in 1995, and more specifically, I believe sometime in the fall of 1995, and is celebrating a 30-year anniversary. I'm your host, Caleb, or Caleb the Spy is what I go by on social media, and every day on social media, I do my best to post about what I call album anniversaries. So, on the Album Anniversary Podcast, we take a look at a classic album, an album we love, or an album that's important to us. Before we jump into this record, let's introduce our guests for today. I have returning guest, Pam. Pam, this has got to be your fourth time on the show? Fifth time on the show?
Six? I don't know how to count.
Okay.
I'm not burned into my job or anything.
And you snuck your way onto a Poor Old Lou show.
I did. Somehow I happened to check the list and I was like, wait a minute. I know that wasn't on there before. And Scott's name isn't on it.
Yes.
Yeah. I put my name in so fast.
Sorry, Scott. I'm talking about Poor Old Lou without you. Are we still friends? Let's hope so. But yes, so I'm glad you got in, because I don't know if we're going to get to any Poor Old Lou albums next year. I just don't know if we've covered most of them. So anyway, welcome back, Pam. I'm glad you're here. Glad you get to talk about Poor Old Lou. And then first-time guest, Chad. Chad, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Greetings from Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. So we got two Minnesotan folks and Chad out in Boise. We are glad you're here. You and I connected on Instagram. Can you tell us just a little bit about the Instagram account that you run?
Yeah, it should be under just Mixtape Chad, which is kind of a nickname a friend gave me because I always hand out mixtapes to all my friends.
Nice. I like that. My name on social media is, nobody gets the joke until I say, oh, it's a Bible joke. And they're like, oh, I get it. It's not a very funny Bible joke. And I'm like, I'm aware it's not a very funny Bible joke. So, okay, Mixtape Chat. I like that. Cool.
But when I heard it was Caleb the Spy, I thought you were referencing there's a band, Spyglass Blue.
Oh.
Or a coffee shop in Minneapolis. And I was like, oh, he's just referencing a band in a coffee shop.
That's the thing, is nobody gets it because it's not obvious enough, because I talk about comic books and music. So if I was doing a lot of Bible talk, especially Old Testament Bible talk on Twitter, and then maybe people would get the joke, but nobody gets it. So yeah.
It is funny now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that people know. So awesome. All right, let's jump in and we'll tackle this record. Again, we are talking about Straight Six by Poor Old Lou, released in 1995, and I found one source that said Q4 of 1995, but I give the caveat on a lot of records, I'm really unsure. This could have come out in the spring. It absolutely could be. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I found is Q4 of 1995. So that's what we're going with. That's why we're releasing it here in October or November, or whenever this is going to come out. November. I think this is when this is coming out. So that's what I have at Q4 of 1995.
So I have my creative writing journals from junior and senior year of high school. And on 10/16/1995, I quote, "Indifference is cold, Slipknot by Poor Old Lou, Scott Hunter." I love that song. It's stuck in my head right now. Sometimes my dad's indifferent, I think. So it's a whole big thing in my journal about that one line. So it's at least October of 95.
That's awesome. Okay, so at least October, before October. So it may actually be more like Q3 of 1995. Though there you go. We're a little closer to the truth. This is the band's second EP technically. So I found that they did a split 7-inch with Mortal. So I'm counting that as the first one. Maybe this is the first one. I don't know. So technically a second EP, and this is, as far as they're a little bit tricky because they had a release under Not Poor Old Lou, and then the first album is only on tape for a long time. But I'm counting this as their fifth release, second EP. All right, this was released on Alarma Records, and that's, I think, the vast majority. Outside of that last release, the majority of their stuff does come out on Alarma. We've talked about Alarma before on the show. Lots of those big kind of alternative Christian bands. They're never quite as big, in my opinion, as Tooth and Nail. Probably more on the 5 Minute Walk. Outside of Five Iron's such a throw off to 5 Minute Walk. Hey, there you go, Center Square. I mentioned 5 Iron. But Alarma, one of the big, I would say, important alternative rock record labels of the 90s for the Christian space.
I would agree with that. And, at that point, we had REX, Alarma, and those were like the two that we had that you could kind of look at the label and say, I might be interested in that. I might take a risk on this album and just buy it unheard.
I was a fan. And it was that case too, like going to the Christian music store, and asking for alternative music. They'd be like, well, this is the record company, or you might want to check out Mind Size. And I wasn't a big fan of Mind Size at that moment. There's a couple songs that caught me, but overall it wasn't the whole album that was interesting enough. But then Sin came out, and then I was a big fan. And that was just in my opinion, a perfect album. And that was on Alarma also. So then just paid attention to all things World Do and Alarma from that point on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll fully admit, I kind of went straight into the Tooth and Nail thing because I was 95. I am what am I? In between my freshman and sophomore year. And MXPX's first album comes out in 95. Starflyer's first album comes out in 94. Second album in 95. So that is really when Tooth and Nail kind of gained that traction. So I sadly, it's been later in life that I've gone back to more Alarma bands and records outside of Poor Old Lou. I was all in from the second I saw us in a lot of ways. But so yeah, it's interesting. I think there's people who, if they were a little earlier into the scene, are like a lot more connected to Alarma. Outside of Poor Old Lou, I don't have a lot of like strong connections. I was way late on Mike Knott. There's a lot of them that I was way late on, and I don't know. I have no excuse, Caleb, but it was definitely something that was true for me. All right, this is where this is going to get really boring, everyone. So this album was produced by Poor Old Lou. The members were the members of Poor Old Lou. It's Scott Hunter, it's Aaron Sprinkle, it's Jesse Sprinkle, and it's Nick Barber. The only 4 members they've ever had, I feel pretty confident in. Sales, I know nothing. I can't find any data. Reviews, none. I can't find any reviews. That's it, everybody. I got nothing else on this outside of the band produced this. They went in. I don't even know why they did an EP. So that's it. We got nothing else. We're 12 minutes into the show, and I'm already out of facts. I feel horrible, but that's where we're at. So any other fun facts that you guys know about this album before we dive in and start tackling our questions?
My quick one was, I did ask, or I don't know how it came up, but Aaron once mentioned that he was on a timeline to have something out every year since they started. And so the EP came because they didn't have a full album yet. And so they just put out a little EP to satisfy that timeline that he set up for himself.
So it wasn't record company enforced, which I know is true for some bands. This was just his self-imposed, this is what we need to do.
Yeah, that's and I forget if it was an actual just catching him at a show and that was something mentioned, or if it was a
interview somewhere.
But that was, yeah, his own self-imposed timeline to keep the band relevant
Huh.
was his motivation to keep something out, a release every year, if you
Yeah.
will.
So interesting compared to like today's, like, because again, now there's not as, I hate this. I hate saying it even. But there's not as much motivation to put out an album every year because you just don't make any money off albums. Maybe, you do singles to keep yourself in the streaming loop and stuff like that. That is crazy to think about, that like, oh yeah, we want to do this because now it's like the album cycle is, 3, 5 years. 5 years is just no big deal at this point. Like, oh yeah, they haven't put out an album in 5 years. Are they broken up? No. If in 1995, if you hadn't put out an album in 5 years, we thought you were all dead. I mean, it was like so that's crazy. Well, that's really cool. Pam, you had something too?
Yeah, I was just listening to the interview with Nick Barber on the Rumors Are True podcast, and he was saying they just kind of had this opportunity to sort of like move into this studio for a couple of weeks, and they just kind of lived there for a while, just did whatever they wanted to recording wise. And I think that was in the spring, I think he said.
Okay.
And so they just had this amazing opportunity to just create and play and make amazing music.
Nice. Well, there we go. We got to the bottom of it. I just needed the right guess. Internet was no help to me. All right, let's dive in and we'll tackle our question. How did you first discover this album?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I was aware of them since Mind Size, and then a big fan since Sin. So I was hankering and on the lookout for any release. So as soon as it came out, picked it up and was jamming it. And it is a great little short but sweet EP for sure.
So did you know it was coming out? Like, were you in the loop on those sorts of things through like Seven Ball was barely around in 95. So I don't know how else we were discovering this. So were you anticipating it, or was it more just like, oh, look, I walked into the Christian bookstore because I go every week and there's the new one?
Well, some of it is getting to be good friends with the music guy at my local Christian bookstore.
Nice.
Which was Berean Christian bookstores, and so they would let me know, like, hey, Chad, look, and I kind of asked for that. Being a little high school kid, I was like, I gotta save up for some of these good releases. Let me know if there's something coming. But yeah, I was aware of it coming, but not. I don't think I was like aware of like what exact date it was going to be, but I don't recall that. But I do recall picking it up as soon as I got it.
Nice. All right, Pam, how about for you? Let's see if we can. No, Christian books. Minnesota Christian Bookstore wouldn't be in your story in 1995. All right, I'm interested. How did you first discover this album?
So the very first 2 CDs I ever bought were The Choir Speckled Bird and Browbeat with my own money. So I got those in 94. Second song on Browbeat is Poor Old Blue, Drenched Decent. And I fell immediately and madly in love with them. Got Mind Size on tape. Was like, this isn't the same band, but I also love this. And so after that, they were just my favorite band. And I bought everything else they put out on CD, which I still did a lot of cassette tapes. So it was a big deal that I had everything on CD. And I don't remember buying this, but I had it mid-October, 1995. And I think the VHS tape came out around then too, the Sit and Stare video.
Okay. So you say that and like memories come flying back to me. I do remember a VHS. I don't think I ever owned it. What else was on that VHS? I can look it up too, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing you might have a memory of it.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is on YouTube. I think Scott put it up. But
Oh,
it's got like the video for All Pretty for the TV, making pizza, paint is paint. It is they're very silly. That's a big reason why I like them. And, there's just a lot of goofiness. But yeah, there's a couple of songs. I don't remember the other songs right now. It's
okay.
been a while. But yeah, I remember, which is wild too, because Picture of the Eighth Wonder comes out the next spring.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like this trajectory, I was only in high school for 3 years and I had everything by then in that time. I mean, Mind Size had already been out, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is so weird to think about that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I did pick that up too. It was a fun little video
Yeah.
montage of like home movie stuff and actual music videos that they sometimes shot themselves or had produced. But it was in promotion of Sin, if
Oh,
I
okay.
remember right. So Sickly was on there too.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, uh, great little VHS.
That's a relic of the 90s as well.
Yeah.
The idea of a VHS to go promote an album. That's pretty crazy. So this is going to be embarrassing. My introduction to this. I I don't think I know I did not have this until after A Picture of the Eighth Wonder. Like we totally missed this. I think it's entirely possible even that I didn't have this until after they had broken up in like I want to say what 97, 96, 97. Because Picture of the Eighth Wonder is spring of 96, and I think by the end of 96 even they're broken up. So like I think it's possible that I had like their last performance before I had this, because I don't think I heard Digging Deep on this. I think I heard Digging Deep on that final performance. I could have that wrong, but I do know I did not have this in 95. I don't even know if I had Sin in 95. I think that was probably around the time I discovered that. And I don't know if this was just gone from the shelves at our Christian bookstore. And so I never saw it. But I am embarrassingly late on this. I did have it in the 90s. I still have I pulled this out. I still have the CD. I think it's in my car, actually. So I still do have the physical copy of it. I did have it long before I graduated. Well, not long because I graduated in 97. So probably around that time, maybe in early college is when I finally got my hands on this. But I was late. I definitely did not have this before I got A Picture of the Eighth Wonder. So I am sorry if anybody from the band ever listens to this. Sorry I got this late. I still bought it at some point. So, but yeah, embarrassingly late, the Caleb story. I almost said my last name, which I never say on the podcast.
Were you late to the Kickstart too for the?
No, I am patiently waiting for my vinyl of this. And that's a good segue. Thank you for bringing that up. We're going to talk about the main 6 songs. Just because that's what we're focused on, because we're a historical show. I don't know. We're not a historical show, but we're going to focus on the main 6 songs. If you are excited about the new stuff they put out, I think that in fact I know they put out like a couple cover songs. At least one is out. Those of us who did pre-order it got both of those early. We got those as a digital copy because we got a digital copy of the album before the vinyl comes out. Those are going to be on the vinyl. We're not going to cover those 2 covers. One's a Cure cover and one's a Depeche Mode, I want to say, cover. They're really good. Super, super cool. I was really excited to get those. So yes, no, I did. I'm patiently waiting for my 6th Sense vinyl. I'm also really, really late because I'm way late to vinyl. Gosh, I'm rambling on. It's possible I had too much coffee today. I feel really fortunate. I have Sin on vinyl, even though it was totally sold out when I got into vinyl, but I was one of the lucky people that they were like, "Hey, we found some copies in the back of a trailer. We're putting them on Bandcamp," and I got them. So I have Sin on vinyl. I'll get Straight 6, and then I have super what I can never remember the word.
You have Mind Size?
Hold on. This is
On vinyl?
really good visual medium as I walk away from the camera.
Star-studded super step. Did they put that to vinyl? I
I
didn't
don't
know that.
think so.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was gonna say, but
That's what I thought he was saying too, and I don't think they put that on vinyl.
Yeah, mine size. I have mine size as well.
yeah.
There you go. That was good podcasting. I'm really good at this job.
And pain does it fall upon your life like rain? It will not kill or make you insane. Just don't bow your neck to the cutter's blade. With me, I seek in his hope. I own majesty. I see in different.
What is it that you love about this little EP?
I think it's just perfect from beginning to end.
Yes, I agree. I love a great little EP. Like, not as much as I love a good record, maybe, but there's something inspiring about, like, here's 6 songs and all of them are great. There's something pretty amazing about that.
Yeah, and it's fun. They you can tell they're having fun with it, like
Yeah.
and they make it fun with the covers and some songs like I didn't know was a cover till reading later on
Yeah. Yep.
actually. So but yeah, a fun little mix of both rock and ballad for
Yeah.
the fans that were anxiously waiting for more stuff.
Even though that it had been less than a year, Aaron was keeping to his word. I don't know. Rabid fans. This also doesn't work if EPs don't work if not every song is great. I think that's the other, well, at least good. That's the other key to this is if they put out 6 songs and 2 of them are just okay, like I have that experience where you get an EP and you're like, oh, there's 6 songs. Yes, I'm super excited. And then you're like, only 3 of these are, 3 of these are great. One of them's good. One of them's just okay. And one I don't like. Like, that's going to take all the punch out of it. So I think it works because they're all so good. It's 30 minutes, about 30 minutes with a hidden track on there. And it works because every song is, I think, really, really great on this.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is this has always been an album, even when I revisited it on streaming. For the most part, I still listen to it, song 1 through song 6 in order. Sometimes, Lie Lie Lie, we'll listen to that a few times, and maybe we'll cut Speak Soft off a little bit or whatever. But for the most part, this is an album that I listen to as a whole entire entity.
Yeah.
And they throw those little tidbits in between the tracks too that make it fun to just keep on going in the listen.
I would argue this has some of their best songs on it. And we'll get into it when we talk about songs, but that's also something that makes a little EP and kind of intriguing. Like, if it if it's just good, that's great. That's fine. I get it. I get what an EP is supposed to be, right? It's oftentimes it's extra from like an extended play is I think technically what EP is for, so, it's songs we cut from an album or something like that. That's not what this sounds like. This sounds like they went in to kind of create something, but I think that's what's kind of amazing about this sort of thing is that can really make an EP kind of stand out in a band's discography when it delivers a couple of their best songs. And I would argue at least one of them when we get into songs, it's one of my favorite Poor Old Lou songs. So that's another really kind of intriguing part of this.
Yeah, but they wrote it in the studio when they were staying in there. So it wasn't like piled up songs. They were writing as they were tracking and, recording.
Yeah.
Nobody could do that now, I don't think.
I mean, you could, if you could live in a studio maybe, but But,
I mean, who has time? You have to work 6 jobs.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I think the other thing that's pretty cool about this, and this is probably more for you guys as fans who were kind of experiencing this album when it came out. Again, I'm late on this, but this feels like it fits well in their evolution. Like, I can see the connection to Sin, and I can see the connection to A Picture of the Eighth Wonder. And so, like, or picture, I always say the title of that one wrong. Anyway, You know what I'm talking about. So I think that's also really intriguing that it kind of is this connection. It is this evolution. It is, you get to continue to see the band grow in some ways, but not lose who they are.
I would even go as far as to say that Sin and Picture of the Eighth Wonder don't hold up as well if you don't have Straight Six in between them as a
Fighting
question. Somebody come fight me. Your friend Scott, he wants to fight. Fight with him about World Blue.
I mean, so when this came out, did that feel like, I mean, again, we'll put ourselves back in 95. And, you know, Chad, you already made the reference to the idea that something is coming out by this band. I better save up my dollars. And I've heard a breakdown of it recently, and I've heard other people talk about it. Like, when we got these albums, we listened to them because that was it. I could afford one album this week, and I could listen to the radio. But I couldn't go streaming. Was this one that when you guys got it, it was just like on repeat for, 2-3 weeks because it was, and probably even more on repeat because it was only 6 songs. You get back into it faster?
I would have done that. I still was buying a great deal of cassette tapes because they were cheaper, and I could. The Diamante group had a deal where if you had saved stickers off of tapes, you had like 4, and you get a 5th tape for free. Or I would buy, before we had the headphones and the CDs at the wall, you could listen on cassette, and sometimes they would sell the cassette.
The
samplers.
demos.
Yeah, the demos.
Yeah.
So I bought a lot of tapes that way, and I had a super long bus ride, and the tapes and batteries and the off-brand Walkman were much easier to deal with going back and forth to school than if I had tried to take CDs. So yeah, but you'd like lay on the floor in your room with the booklet and just listen to music.
Yeah.
Read everything, because this is all you had of your favorite band.
Yeah. There's a good podcast or a good Patreon show we could do. What did you do to make music affordable? I would save stickers so I could get that 5th tape for free. Stuff like that. We all did it. That's crazy.
Yeah. I raised the toddlers next door for $3 an hour. Worked at the farm market. Had produce thrown at me.
Yeah, same. Those stickers were great.
Mm-hmm.
A great gift. But yeah, definitely got this one and played it for beginning to end over and over.
Yeah. There's a I'm going to date myself again. There's a cartoon called Strong Bad and homestarrunner.com. And at one point he makes the joke, what'll ever outlast the durability of magnetic tape? Making a comment about cassette tapes. So it's funny to think about it like, oh, I'm going to buy these tapes and they're going to last forever. Like, there is a reason they were cheaper, because they did have a shelf life. I mean, eventually those tapes will break down, unlike a CD, good old CDs hanging in there. So,
well, the tapes were horrible. You had to get a pencil in there, and then like every now and then the tape would all get jammed up in there and would just eat it, and so that would happen. So hopefully it wasn't your favorite tape. And then CDs would get scratched, so that was another reason you wouldn't track with them. But yeah, it was wild times.
It was
wild times.
Totally different ballgame. Usually the question is, what are your favorite songs? But since there's only 6, we're just going to go through and kind of talk about each of them. So Lie 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 kicks off the album. Chad, what are your thoughts on that song?
It is a good starter of a track for sure. And definitely goes down as one of my favorites for the band.
Yeah, I think it's a great opening track. It sets the tone, which is what you want from an opening track. But yeah, I think it's a great kickoff to the album. Go ahead, Pam. I'm waiting for your notes.
I hid them this time from you. I think it's the boppiest, poppiest, danciest, sing-alongiest song of their entire catalog.
Oh, all
So right
right.
there, that's my heart right there. Is give me something I can just dance by myself to and sing my lungs out. And I also love that it's happy, but the lyrics are kind of grim. I
Yeah.
just a thing I like in general.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is a little, it's got a nice pop sensibility, which they had not shown as much of. I will say that. Sin is not a pop record by any means, and I don't think Picture of the Eighth Wonder is either. But like, it does. You're right. It does have a pop feel, and you're totally right. I love how it is light and airy in the music, but it's a darker tune. Now it has a happy ending, as I was looking at it a little. It's kind of this idea of a story of somebody who's worn down by the daily grind and kind of leaves behind the things like their beliefs, but then does kind of, I'll use the word repent, and kind of come back to faith at the end of it. But it does have some dark themes going through it, and then that it does crescendo. But yeah, you're right. It is a very it is. It's a kind of a more poppy moment out of the band.
I did listen to everything of theirs that came out when I was in high school. So Mind Size to Picture of the Eighth Wonder. And there is nothing else in that stretch that sounds
Yeah.
like this at all.
I'm really smart. We've established this on the 110, 20 shows I've done on this podcast. I'm a really smart guy. I know the title of this is Lie, Lie, Lie. I never caught in the chorus that that's what he's saying. I always thought it was La, La, La. Like, I never caught it. And then I was like, oh, it's Lie, Lie, Lie. I'm a really smart guy, really intelligent individual. Because the way he delivers it, I just never caught it, and I was like, oh, he's singing "Lie, Lie, Lie," which is the title. Good job, me.
But you also got it after high school, so you didn't have as much time to lay on the floor and listen
That's
with the
true.
lyrics.
Yes, I was off. I was off failing college by that point.
On the credits there, you get the tambourine by Jazzy Sparkle. It's, is the credit there. So that's fun. Right?
The Sprinkles' father was on this, and as well. So I was looking at some other credits from some other random thing, and their youth pastor sings some background vocals on this. So they had some additional people come into the studio. That I found that on like some random website. So if that's not true, sorry, I'm just lying to everybody. Lie, lie, lie. But that is what I see, because I don't think that's called out in the. I think Jazzy Sparkle is the only. Maybe that's Jazzy Sparkle is their dad.
No, you got background vocals by Craig Finley
Okay.
and Dave Sprinkle.
Okay, so that's Dave Sprinkle is their father, and then the other dude is their youth pastor.
Jazzy Sparkles, Jesse.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I figured.
And I know one of the studios they recorded in was in their church. Maybe that's the studio they were living in for the couple weeks. But when they were doing this and living in the building, they just had people coming in and out. There was just whoever wanted to come in and record with them just
Showed up.
came in and they recorded something. It sounds so fun, and I'm not even musical.
Yeah, and that's to that being their youth pastor. That was I went to a summer camp, and someone talking about studying the liner notes. The face on the liner note of someone kind of screaming into a microphone, I recognized on someone's shirt, and I'm like,
Oh.
"Hey, why do you have that guy's face on your shirt? Because he's in a Poor Lou booklet of mine." And he's like, "Oh, he's my youth pastor. I don't know." So
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, the kid didn't know anything about Poor Lou, but I knew about his youth pastor because of the liner notes on the Poor Lou Straight Six album. So
That seems backwards. I think that kid's
Yeah.
parents are a failure, that
Yeah.
he didn't know about poor old Lou. You're out of here, kid.
Yeah.
Let's go on. We'll talk about Bittersweet, second song off the album. Pam, what are your thoughts on this second song?
I love all of the instruments they're using in it, and there's just such an otherworldly feel to it. Got
Yeah.
the wind chimes, bongos and drums. which seems I don't know if I've ever noticed a song having bongos and drums in it before. And then they did some interesting things with the way Scott's vocals were tracked, and I really didn't even know that until today. And I was listening to it in my good headphones, and I'm like, there's a track on the one side where he's whispering behind the singing vocals.
Wow.
And so they're doing everything practically versus like CGI, practical effects. And they just kept messing around with it until they liked the sound. And
Yeah.
it's just so interesting to me.
Yeah, it's not the first time on this little EP that you get this very complex musical arrangement. And I think this is one of my, Poor Lou is, I think, a lot of my introduction to that sort of thing, where they're playing with different percussions. You get, I mean, I know I had heard strings in songs before, just so we're clear, but like the cello on here is great. Like, and they just added, it feels like they added a lot of layers to this that they kind of kept on trying to, what else can we add just to, make this more interesting?
It's definitely very atmospheric,
Yeah.
which was the scratching the itch of all us ravenous fans,
Yeah.
because that's what they were known for.
Yeah. Pam, you mentioned his delivery and you kind of the headphones thing. I also love the way this song builds. You kind of get this build to his delivery, and Scott's vocals are always so varied. That's one of the things I really like. Like he'll, on one song, he is yelling and snarling. On other songs, it's more soft spoken. On other songs, he's doing this. Like his vocals are an instrument. They're not just vocal delivery. That's how I would describe it. It may be the bad way to do it, but I love how it just builds. And then he, kind of the 2:30 mark, you can see him just start to like kind of really deliver these like intense deliveries. And I really love his vocals on this.
One of my favorite lyrics of all time is in the song, and I gave and I gave and I gave until I had nothing left, until consequence. And accept consequence. And there is a slight problem with this album, and that is that they tell you the meanings of the songs, and I do a little bit better if I just
don't know
about that, because but that so for me though, that is something like, I mean, in all of our lives we all go through that, but we don't talk about that. And for them to be talking about that in 1995,
yeah,
that wasn't in churches. That wasn't in anything in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so I've always appreciated that. That's a line that'll sometimes just get in my head. And then with all of that sweeping, the cello and all of the different instruments and stuff, it is a little bit of a Narnia trek for the mind.
Narnia, nice. It's almost like they've got a connection to that. What is it?
What is the Narnia? No, just joking.
So again, it's not a visual media. My face was utter shock that Chad didn't know that. Clearly he did. Well played. Well played. All right, let's go on to anything else to add. I'll say that first. Anything else to add on Bittersweet?
I'll just add that the whole reason I wanted to listen to Poor Old Lou was because they got their name from Narnia. Because I was obsessed with Narnia. And that's just how I operated. Sixpence None the Richer, Narnia, they were both, or Poor Lou, both C.S. Lewis bands. I was in.
There you go. I was going to add that idea of boundaries, like I gave and I gave and I gave till the consequences. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought back then. That's a unique concept to talk about. And I don't know if they're like saying like, hey, everybody, remember to set boundaries. Those are good. Like it may not have been as explicit as that, but that is a concept that I probably did not hear about in any real circles until like 10 years ago, where somebody was like, it's okay for you to set boundaries. And I was like, it is? Oh, I should do that. But like, so that is really, really unique. And again, it probably is not articulating it the same way we're articulating it now and the way it's kind of talked about, but it is still like, that's an interesting concept for how old was Scott when this came out? He couldn't have been more than 25. And
he was like 21.
Yeah. I mean, he's a young guy kind of being able to articulate like how painful that can be. That is really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it is not what the song is saying at all.
Yeah.
And that's, as we're in our 40s now and everything, like it is a hard lesson still to learn over and over again.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Track 3. Slipknot is track 3.
So one of my absolute favorite things on this one is his breath work. He's just doing some interesting Scott's just doing some interesting things again with his voice, and that's, something you referred to in the last song. It's another musical instrument layered in with all of the other musical instruments that they're using. And I wouldn't have even had the terminology for that like a year ago, but it's just, he's doing something different again that I don't think he repeats too often in other songs and other albums.
Yeah. There's a couple things that stand out about this song for me. One is it has one of their clearest bass tones, and unique for them bass tones. I feel like it feels a lot more like the band that it feels like is like the Dingies or Rancid. That's what the bass tone feels like on this, where a lot of Nick's other bass work, and I'm not saying one's better than the other, just so we're really, really clear. I love Nick's work on everything. I don't know. There's something about this bass tone that really stands out on this, which I think is really interesting. It's the thing that stands out the most on this song to me is that you get that. So that's a unique part of it. It still feels kind of funky and jazzy, like it feels like that old Poor Old Lou, and maybe his bass comes through more because there's less of these super strong distorted guitars, which they're so known for. So I don't know. There's a unique sound on this that again feels like Poor Old Lou, but just a little twist of something new, and I love it. I love how it comes through on this.
Yeah, there's that just a little bit of piano here and there in it that really stands out. This is a song that often, clearly in 1995, I had it stuck in my head all the time. And this was their number 1 stream song on Napster.
Yes, I saw
back
this
in the
note as
day.
well. And their guess is that this was their most downloaded song on Napster, and it had nothing to do with them. It had to do with the band Slipknot. That's their guess, which is pretty hilarious to me.
My headcanon is that the band took their name from the song.
That Slipknot took their... Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I have no proof.
What's the lead singer's name? Chad, I want to say?
No idea.
Chad something. I'll see if I can run into him in Iowa. I think that's where they're from. Anyway. All right. I don't want any more Slipknot references on the show. That's there's a band I will not be covering. No matter how much I say, I want everybody to have a voice. We're not covering Slipknot on the show. All right, let's talk about Digging Deep, and I'm going to kick this one off. This is right up there, top 5 favorite Poor Old Lou songs for me. So I love this song, absolutely. What are you guys' thoughts on Digging Deep?
Yeah, definitely the same here. It was a standout favorite from the beginning. And then the guest vocal on the track was one of the best parts for me to dig into and find out and create a whole fandom of all things Jeremy Ignick.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said his last name, because I surely would have messed it up if I had to say it first. So you'll hear me mess it up later. So yeah, Jeremy's vocals, especially at the 2:30 mark, I mean, just absolutely, I mean, Jeremy's absolutely killer vocals on this, but this is my introduction to Jeremy. I'm assuming this is you guys' introduction as well.
Yeah, definitely mine. And we get a little bit of an introduction in Sin when we get that voicemail played at the end of a track about Nick calling up Jeremy about his mom's necklace, but don't include his mom. She's not a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, we get to find out who Nick is referencing now.
Yeah.
And fun be had at the Nashville show. They kind of did a little monologue about it where they're like, Nick would have liked that the band chose Jeremy instead of Scott to be their lead singer, because I guess they were trying them both out. but decided to go with Scott instead. And so,
Wow, there you
yeah,
go. Shots fired, I guess.
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, there's a couple moments, but there's something right around the 2:30 mark when he really goes into his classic Jeremy vocals that I just remember being blown away. I mean, just kind of overwhelmed with what is this I'm hearing? I don't think I'd ever heard any vocal delivery like that. And so yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Well, this is my absolute favorite Poor Old Blue song of all time.
Absolute favorite Poor Blue
Absolute
song ever.
favorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Which so different from Starflyer 59 because I can't usually pick out like a favorite song from them because I like entire albums, but this one is absolute favorite Poor Old Blue song.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I also love it's not just Jeremy's vocals. It's actually it's Jeremy's vocals are amazing. But I actually love it's even just the interplay between Scott and him. Like they really do work well together. And I know it's tough to have two lead singers in a band, but let me tell you, if they could have made that work here, I mean, how much I think, and maybe it would have been too much. It wouldn't have been possible, but like they kind of, when they go back and forth, there's a part where the chorus ends that Scott sang and then Jeremy kicks in and then it just is really it's not just that it's Jeremy's vocals on it, but it's the way it fits. It fits really, really well with this song and with the rest of the band. And yeah, maybe it wouldn't have worked on, some of their more harder songs, but I love the way it works on this song and the way they kind of just come together.
Yeah, that's my note on it is that their voices together are just gorgeous. And my brain is like, well, what if we could have had more? And I'm like, but we wouldn't have this perfect song
Yeah.
otherwise, I think. And so at least we have this one. But yeah, their voices together. So, and I'm a vocal person, so I'm like, okay, the vocals hit just right. I'm usually pretty happy. So
Yeah. And we mentioned earlier the idea of like this being one of Poor Old Lou and this album being kind of an introduction to kind of complex and layered kind of production. There's a couple things that really stand out on here. That little crinkling noise before the tambourine hits, and I think they're hitting it with I don't know how he's hitting it, whether he's hitting it with a drumstick or with his hand, but there's that kind of little crinkle and then the tambourine hits. That always just stuck out so much to me. The xylophone on this, and I think it's a xylophone, I could be wrong, but that's a layer to it. And yeah, it's just this there's so much going on in this 4-minute song that it's like I think it was almost overwhelming when you hear it, because Lie Lie Lie, Bittersweet, and Slipknot all sound like Poor Old Lou, and they sound like the Poor Old Lou you knew and the Poor Old Lou you would see. They weren't the exact same, but they were connection. And then this is like, what is going on here? This is so unique. And so yeah, there's so much I love about this song.
yeah.
And yeah, that's why it makes it into my top 5 of Poor Old Lou songs.
Yeah, Aaron playing that kalimba is
Kalimba. Oh, not a xylophone.
so beautiful. Yeah,
Okay.
there's just a little cheap little instrument that makes that noise,
Yeah.
and he just is that kind of musician. And
Yeah.
then we're looking at the liner notes, and there's like a seasoning, and so we think that Jesse had like a bottle of seasoning and was shaking it.
Okay.
And so I wonder if that's that crinkle noise you're hearing.
Yeah.
But like I remember reading an interview when they were talking about how they did like Star Studded Super stuff, and they're like, yeah, we're just like rolling chapsticks down the hallway and recording it. So like it's just the stuff they did.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah. I love this song.
And then my favorite thing to do is and I haven't annoyed my husband enough, I'll go, hey, Poor Old Lou's emo. And we've been talking about it a lot the past few days, but like, do we even have modern day emo without Poor Old Lou?
Oh man.
We do not.
Just because of the Jeremy connection, or because this song is emo? Is it just the Jeremy connection?
Just the Jeremy connection.
Okay.
I mean, well, because he was friends with Nick.
Yeah.
And they had been, playing music together since they were like in middle school.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Ennick doesn't meet Nick Barber And Nick Barber doesn't meet Aaron Sprinkle and Scott Hunter.
Yeah.
Do we have modern day emo? I don't think so.
Your husband can come on the Patreon and refute you. Yeah.
He would love to.
It is interesting, all these like connections that Jeremy has with this, right? Because Moon Traveler's recorded in his basement. Like there's kind of all these like interesting aspects to Jeremy and the band that is kind of fun. So yeah.
Yeah. And the first time I heard about Sunny Day Real Estate was in one of the Christian magazines. It's there was a little the news section of it said like Nick Barber was touring with them. And I'm like, Nick's touring with a band called Sunny Day Real Estate. Well, of course I've got to listen to that band now.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized the connection for a while, but I love Sunny Day Real Estate.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I had it that early. Not to be a snob about it, but
I was late on it. Caleb's late on everything. Thanks for joining my TED Talk. All right, let's move on to For Love of My Country, a great follow-up to Digging Deep, penultimate song. What are our thoughts on For the Love of My Country?
it's probably my least favorite song on the album.
Oh, what? We're really going to fight about this album.
So excited. But all the songs are great and good, but I just don't understand the lyrics. And even with the way my brain works, I'm still like, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm supposed to think. But I love it. It's just my least favorite.
You love it, but least favorite. Okay.
It's least favorite, right. And like he's got growling on it and it's catchy. It gets stuck in my head. But I don't know what I'm supposed to think.
I'm a little bummed. I'm not. But I'm a little bummed. I'm going to pretend that I'm bummed that they're adding 2 songs to the vinyl. Because I think the back half, if you just cut this thing straight in half and you go Digging Deep for Love of My Country and Speaks Off, like it's a perfect B-side, side B, but it's not really a side B because the whole thing is on one side potentially. Although you can't do a single side on 30 minutes. But anyway, I'm rambling again. But like I think these final 3 songs, every Poor Old Lou album ends with an amazing 3-4 song run. I don't know. They just had this ability. And I think this is a great one. I love the opening guitar riff. It feels so comforting. It's so like overwhelmingly rich and like there's something comforting about it. Full disclosure, for years, I totally got this and All Pretty for TV confused. I am a horrible fan, but I totally would be like, I totally would get them confused. But I think this is the way the song starts is great. It's a not quite as poppy as Lie Lie Lie, but it gets there and it has some of those elements. And yeah, I absolutely do love this song. It's another. It's pseudo political, which we didn't get a ton of from them, but it's got enough of it. I love the little pauses. Like there's kind of little, those little breaks where they all pause for a second. I think those are wonderful. So yeah, there's one more thing I'll add, but I'll ask. I'm talking too much. What else do other people think?
What can I say? Run and hide. No, yeah, it's a fun little closer. For definitely like you're saying, a run of fingers, and it always being sometimes how I would skip to Digging Deep to just start that first, then For the Love of My Country became my second favorite on the album just because it follows Digging Deep. But
yeah,
it was the rocker of the set, so it definitely scratched that itch where I like when they go a little fast and heavy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Something that I noticed today that I thought was really unique, and I was listening to the new one, right? The new mix of it. And I noticed at one point, like Scott's vocals are dubbed over his own vocals. Like you can hear it. It's not the whole song, but there's a couple spots in the song and it's like a more echoey version of it. So it's like his vocals and then you hear him in the background as well. And I was like, oh, maybe that's for the new mix. So I pulled out the old mix and I listened to that and I was like, oh no, it's here too. So that's a really cool element. And it just makes his again, I talk a lot about his vocal delivery. I don't know what it is about Scott's vocal delivery, but like it's a really cool aspect when you listen close. And again, it's not the whole song. So you could like put on the song and jump to a part and be like, I don't know what Caleb's talking about. But there's a couple moments where they do it, and it's a beautiful little flourish that makes this song again sound a little harder and than it really is. Because I never thought they were a real heavy band, but there's that couple moments that it's a really really nice tone that it adds to his vocals.
I was gonna say, it's still an absolutely perfect album to me, and I don't skip it. So even if it's my least favorite, I don't skip it. I still
Oh,
listen
she's
to it. I still love
backtracking.
it.
Oh man. I'm totally kidding. Yeah. All right, let's move to the closer. Once again, Poor Old Lou always has an epic closer. Speak Soft closes out this little 6-song EP. Well, what are our thoughts on that song?
This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous sounding song. And all of my notes are some variation of it. I love Scott's vocals on this. I love Scott's vocals on this. Scott Hunter, Jason Martin, my two absolute favorite vocalists of all time.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting song. I sometimes just get things in my head that I'm like, I'm never going to listen to the original of this. And so I was never going to listen to the original of this until I read your notes the other day. You said the band was from Minnesota. And
Yeah.
so, and I am legally bound as a Minnesotan that if I find something that's Minnesotan, I have to engage with it in some way. So I went and looked it up. I didn't know what half the lyrics were. And that is not usually an issue with Scott's enunciation. Scott is usually very, very good at enunciation. I don't usually miss lyrics, but I don't know what the song is about.
Yeah. I can't tell you. Yes, this is so you made mention of it, written by Dan Lancaster. This is a cover, which I probably did not realize for a couple years until after this, because again, we've established I'm very slow, not very smart. It's originally by a band called Swoon. And apparently, as far as I can tell, you can find some information about them online. They are a Minnesota band, and you can find some of their stuff on YouTube. In the notes, Scott makes, or somebody, whoever's writing the liner notes, makes some sort of comment about like, I wish we could have done a song this good. Like, this is our attempt at doing a great song, which is hilarious but I'm glad they're giving praise to this, I think, very unheard of band. But so Swoon from Minnesota is the band and is the reference. So that's all the more I know about them. You can find stuff by them. There's not a lot, to be totally honest. I think they have a Bandcamp page that's got a couple things too. Maybe I'm totally remembering the wrong thing. I look at too much music stuff. I know some of it's on YouTube.
I kind of always loved the word pictures that he painted in this song, and then come to find out it's a cover, so it wasn't quite theirs, but yeah, very how do you like almost like those folk fables, if you will, like they just sing these words that paint a picture in your mind of what's going on in this story they're telling. But again, I don't know what the point of the story is either, but I do love the refrain of speak soft, and it's very catchy too. So it definitely stuck in my little high school mind as another gem to rock out to, but had no idea what they're singing about either.
Yeah. It's an absolutely epic closer. This is something Poor Lou just does so well. Like, they know how to find that way to close down an album. It's the perfect end to this little 6-song EP. It's absolutely massive in scope. It builds well. It starts so small and so quiet, but then it builds and then it ends quiet again. I mean, it's just, I think this is a perfect closing song in a lot of ways, and I love it to close out this little EP.
One of my favorite things about Poor Lou is just how they arrange the albums with the song order and the way that they kind of lead you through an emotional journey. And so you're never stuck in a difficult feeling for too long. Like that you'll come through something and then they'll soothe, and it'll kind of go back and forth a little bit. And I mean, that was so unusual for back then. But yeah, their closers, just some of the absolute best. And this album is no exception.
Yeah.
When the goodness and strife found an empty wanting life. No salon made no sound. With his I bowed myself down. Won't you greet this man and hear his words? Maybe an open ear would make him stir. Good close heart to saved a man.
We want people to go back and check this out 30 years later, but why is this something that's important to you or something that kind of holds up?
This is a gorgeous album. It's short. It's perfect. It's a really great way to hear young Jeremy Ennick, and in such a beautiful, beautiful way. I think there's a lot of room for interpretation for the lyrics, and I think that's something that, in this instance, is something that the listener should probably do, especially if they've deconstructed. But it's such a beautiful album. I don't know that I would start with Poor Old Blue with this one, but if you're looking for like a really good, quick 90s or art, punk, rock, adventure,
Yeah.
a short little thing, I highly recommend it. I think it is so creative and so beautiful.
Yeah. Chad, how about for you?
I concur with him a lot. Likewise, this would be the way I would introduce someone to Poor Old Blue. Would just be handing them this little EP. It's short and sweet, and it covers all of the bases on what you can expect from the band. With rockers and ballads, if you will. That it just is in the short 6 songs, you get a little bit of everything that makes them who they are.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to introduce someone to the band, I think. And they had a lot of fun recording it, obviously, and especially closing it out with a little ice cream truck song.
Yeah.
A little secret song, but yeah, they were able to make a perfect little EP, I think. And that's on Instagram. I don't know if you saw the EP wars that I think is it the Roster podcast? Have you heard of that?
I haven't.
No, they were heading up a little like vote in for a few best of lists, and they put together a little list of EPs, and Straight Sixes kind of made it into the final 4 for sure. I don't know where it's come out since, but everybody concurs. This is one of the best little EPs out there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. My original notes, I had 3 points for this, or 2 points for this. I have 3. One is like, there is something great about a really, really great EP. Like, there's a couple of them I've run across in my life. I think the 5-iron ones are good, but you can't trust my word when it comes to 5-iron because I'm going to say they're great. But there's another one by a band called the Bruce Lee Band that he put out in 1995, and it's another one of these ones where it's literally like 15 minutes because it's all ska punk songs, but it's just great. It's like maybe it's 20 minutes, but it's so short. It's great. It's like one of those ones that was in my car for years, and I would just like every other day put it in and listen to it because you could get through it all in one drive too, almost everywhere you're going. But there is something about an EP that catches you, that makes you, I talk about this on the show a fair amount, like it makes you feel cool. Like you're like, oh yeah, I got this EP by this band that you've never heard of. Like that is like a, it's not the unreleased Smiths record that gets mentioned on High Fidelity, but there is something kind of cool about it. So I like that. I like when bands have an EP or two in their discography, and There's something kind of cool, and it makes you feel cool, and I like that. It's not the reason you love a band, but I think it can be a nice little thing. So that's number one. Jeremy is another one. For me, this is my introduction to him, and again, Caleb's late on everything. It is not till embarrassingly later that I realized, like, oh, he's in this band, Sunny Day Real Estate, and The Fire Theft, I think, is another one he's in. And he's got this whole solo career, and he's got all these things. So he's gone on to be, I didn't realize he was he's a much bigger deal than Poor Old Lou. I mean, it's not even close. And that's really, really funny to me that for years, I just thought he was this guest who could kind of sing on this great Poor Old Lou EP that I loved. And then to come to find out, like, oh no, actually he's kind of an international superstar who kind of left them behind. That's pretty hilarious, but it also is like, I love when that kind of opens up to you. And I've gone on and I have a strong affection, even though I'm not an emo kid. I like baggy jeans. I still have this like affection for him. And I think some of his solo work is actually really, really good. It's a little weird, but the Frog Queen album I think is really, really interesting and unique. And so I that's a really important aspect of this record for me. And then my final thing on this and why this is important and why it kind of stands up for me is that we didn't get 20 years of Poor Old Lou. I mean, you really look, there's a pretty short career, especially if you really just look at the reunion as just really 2002, or I think that's when it was. Like, yeah, I know they were around kind of in spaces, but not a lot. And so it's a pretty short career. It's yes, they had some stuff before they broke, but you didn't get 20 years of Poor Old Lou. You didn't get 30 years of them. So every record by them is going to have some importance to me because we just didn't get a lot from them. Yes, we've gotten a lot from Aaron. We've gotten a couple. I know we've gotten one other thing from Scott. Nick's been involved in stuff. I know Jesse's doing stuff, but this foursome, there is something magical about them. And I think it comes through on this. It comes through on all their releases, but I think I kind of am always going to treasure releases from them because of that. And I'll say it, digging deep, obviously all of us big fans, it's got a couple of their best songs on it. And I love when an EP can do that, when it can kind of deliver that, because yeah, you're not going to get the full 12 song album or 10 song album, but that's pretty amazing to me. So that's another reason this really does hold up for me and kind of stand out as a record worth going back to, and a record I'm really excited to get on vinyl. What can I say? Run and hide. How can I be? Do you see this place? That is it. That is our breakdown of Straight Six by Poor Old Lou. Again, released sometime in Q3 or Q4, according to Pam's journal, from 1995. Before October 10th of 1995, it was released at some point. I love how that is our mark for this album going forward, celebrating a 30-year anniversary. I know you guys both are online a little because that's where I met both of you. So Pam, tell us where you can be found online, if you want to be found online.
You can find me at Hovering Ladle, HOVERINGLADLE, or Tupo Girl, TUPOGIRL, on most social accounts. And you can check out our record label, Dead Letter Records, which is at Dead Letter Rec, across social platforms. We currently have an autumn sampler that is free, or pay what you want, with some really great music on it on Bandcamp. So awesome. Check it out. It's kind of fun.
I love how you've nailed the record label promo now. I think it like came up like one show, and then it kind of half came up another show, and I love how you actually have it like nailed down. That was awesome. I love it. Chad, where can people find you online? I know you already mentioned it, but where can people find you online?
Yeah, well, I just started an Instagram for posting all things music, little vinyls and stuff that I come into and concerts that I get to go to, but that's at Mixtape Chad. But I'm also on Discogs, just always love meeting people there and checking out releases. And that's just Chad Haynes at Discogs. So yeah, just love all things music, especially this little niche of alternative Christian rock. But uh, uh, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
I just pulled up Dead Letter. There's an independent label in St. Paul, Minnesota. Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be checking their stuff out. It looks like I already have. Oh, your Robert Diebel stuff. I am a big fan of Robert Diebel, so I did get some of his little 7 inches and whatnot that you guys had of his.
Awesome.
But yeah,
So you've
thanks.
already purchased stuff from their record label?
Yeah, that
That's
I didn't
awesome.
know. Yeah,
That's so cool. Oh my
I
gosh,
got
that's hilarious.
Robert Diebel's 7 inch Bad Time for Love, and then it looks like a CD from Southerfly and The Conversation, a split CD. Like,
Nice.
That's awesome.
I came into The Conversation somehow, and became a fan, so I started picking up all things The Conversation. But yeah, neat.
It's very
That's-
cool. I'll tell my husband because he's going to be so geeked out.
It's a great way to promote the band, The Conversation. Like I came into The Conversation. I was like, I think it's a band. It is a band. Okay. All right. It's like, that's awesome. I came into The Conversation.
Jared was very good at self-promoting back in the early 2000s, so he went all over the Midwest. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for hanging out on a Friday night. I know you guys are both super busy. I was excited to talk about this album. I think this means we've talked about Sin. We've talked about Picture of the Picture of the Eighth Wonder. Yeah. I always say Eighth Wonder of the World, but it's not. It's just Picture of the Eighth Wonder. We have not talked about Mind Size, and we have not talked about The Waiting Room. So there's still a couple of them out there. Pam, maybe we'll talk about the Picture of the Eighth Wonder next year. We'll see, because when I did it the first time, me and Scott didn't know what the crap we were doing. And I actually have a format now. We'll see. It might be a while. If we don't cover it next year, this will be the last Poor Lou I cover till 2027, potentially. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Or thank you, everyone. Whatever you pick your poison. So thanks so much for hanging out with me on a Friday night and talking about this album. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Caleb.
Yeah, thanks, Caleb.
Soft, baby, don't you talk. Speak soft, baby, don't you talk to me. To me. To me. To me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Album Anniversary Podcast. I want to say thanks again to Pam and Chad for joining me. Great to have them on the show. Great. I'm always excited to talk to people about Poor Old Lou. I'll be honest. It's great. Go check out their stuff. Find them online. Get connected. I love this circle of people that we have. So let's continue to connect. And that's really corny of me to say, but I've said it anyway. All right. Let us know what you thought. What do we get right? What do we get wrong? What are your favorites from this album? Sorry, Scott, you were not included. We'll see if he gets to this point in the show, because I don't think he listens. So we're calling him out here. All right. I'm on all the social medias. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Patreon. I'm on all of them. You can email the show, CalebTheSpypodcasts@gmail.com. That's how you can get connected with me. Again, I have a spreadsheet running of all the shows I want to do. I'm already planning 2026. I've said it before, as long as I am employed and I am supporting the family, I will continue to do this podcast. So, I want to do shows through 2026. I got a lot of fun things in the hopper. I'm sorry I don't do Patreon if you follow me there. I really, I just don't have time for that much stuff. So I got shows, though, lined up 2026. I can give you access to that spreadsheet. We can get connected and get you on a show. Hopefully, no promises, but I'll try and get as many people as I can to join me. Please subscribe, share the podcast, leave a rating or a review. For those of us who aren't famous, that's how we spread the word, is people who check out the show and tell other people about it. So go do that. If there's any show you like and it's not run by famous people, you should go do that. You should go like the podcast. You should go leave a rating or review. Tell somebody about it. If you enjoy this show, you might also enjoy the other podcast I work on. It's called I Survived Youth Group in the 90s. We're on a bit of hiatus, trying to get the show back up and running. We are starting to get some recording sessions on the books. We'll have more episodes coming out. We just talked to people about their youth group experience, kind of where they're at and where they're at now. We're just kind of letting people share their story, and it's really fun to see how similar and how different those youth group experiences were and where it's led people and where they're at today. We just want to hear people's story. Thanks so much. We will talk to you soon.
No.
Okay. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, gosh. So the reason I have to book out is the Belle Plaine pickup because my daughter missed out on a birthday party because we thought we were going to be camping this weekend. We had to cancel because of a funeral tomorrow. So we're camping next weekend. So we didn't RSVP to this. So now she's wanting to stay later. And it's a 45-minute drive home. Man, if I'm driving home at 1, I'm gonna be a wreck. Okay, this is the life of 3 teenagers, I guess. I chose this life.
If that ever happens for you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know they'll deliver. It's just a matter of when. I think the vinyl game has gotten stupid because unless you're Adele, I'll cut this out of the show. Maybe I will. We'll see. Mike Park from Asian Man Records, who has run a record label out of his parents' garage for 30 years. He's like, yeah, it's great that everybody wants vinyl again, except for when Adele and her record label come in and say, hey, we need records for the new Adele record, and it halts production on every other vinyl and sets every other vinyl production back 6 months. And now, I don't know if you go to record stores now, like I go through and I flip through them, guess where all those Adele records are? They're all in the bargain bin. Every last one of them. So it's, these small producers of vinyl, I don't know how they deal with it. I honestly, I don't know, Pam, I don't know how your husband deals with it, because it's a pain. Like, it's just you're fighting against the big companies, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we're not making any money.
Right.
At all. And I do have to give a retraction, because I think it was on the 5 Iron Frenzy episode I was on. I was like, the people that I know buy vinyl aren't buying an Adele record. And then I was digging through stuff one day, and we have the Adele record. So we have one in my house. But it is also an interesting point, because I think the last Kickstarter email said that they had gone another step and that there was a backlog or something. Taylor Swift just released like 15 different copies of exclusive vinyls for this new album. And I'm like, well, if Adele did all that, what is happening with...
Oh, we lost you.
So, yeah, I hit mute by accident. Sorry. But if that is what was happening with Adele pushing everything back, then what's happening with Taylor Swift? And that's an even bigger, bigger superstar who's going to need more copies. And it feels really unfair in this economy and this timeline.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a weird, it's such a weird aspect to all of this. Like, so yeah, I know they'll deliver, because I think Matthew's involved, and if he's involved, I trust that they'll get it done and they'll get it right. So, which is nothing to say about the other guys, the guys from the actual band, but I trust Matthew to get it done. So it's kind of one of those things. It may take a little while. I'll wait it out. I'm happy to wait it out for sure. So yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm glad they've gotten to put out those two covers that they did, and people are getting to hear them. At least one of them. I don't know if they put them both out. I wasn't paying attention because I already got them and was listening to them. So, but yeah, I'm excited to get this on vinyl, and I hope bands like them continue to go back and do this. Like, I really like the way Aaron's doing it, where like for the Rose Blossom Punch, he essentially said, "I'm gonna take pre-orders until I get enough to make it." And if that takes a while, that takes a while. And I'm totally okay with bands doing it. And some of them I can't go in on every one. I skipped something recently that I was just like, no, I like it, but I gotta love it. And that allows us to, I actually prefer I'll take pre-orders until I can do it, as opposed to I'm gonna take orders for the next 12 hours. You've got to decide right now. That sucks too. That's a tough game to be in. I'd rather them say, "Look, I'll take pre-orders till I've got enough, and then I'll give everybody a warning and close it down, because it gets me time to get the money together."
Yeah. All these like concert tickets that go on pre-sale, and I'm like, you just announced the concert yesterday. It's not till next year. You're doing pre-sale tomorrow. I'll get paid for another week and a half. I don't know if I have money. It's going to be sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't afford it, but like, you didn't even give me a chance.
Yeah. The bots came in and took it all. So
yeah. Dumb bots.
All right, let's wrap up. So I'll do my little outro, and I'll give you guys both a chance to tell people where they can find you online. I know Chad, you already did, but we'll give everybody one more chance. So, all right.